Hi guys, it's Nick here from nickbro.com, author of Single No More and International Breakthrough Specialist. In this video, we are talking about relationship patterns. Why you keep attracting the same type of relationship, the same type of circumstance over and over and over again. If you're always attracting partners who maybe cheat on you, who abandon you, who are emotionally unavailable, who are addicts, who are clingy, there's a reason for that. So in this video, we're going to explore what that reason is so you can better understand it, and also what to do and how to deal with that root cause. Because once you deal with that root cause, guess what? The pattern goes away. Now, the first step to understanding the patterns is understanding emotions, more specifically, understanding how emotions impact the circumstances that you attract in your life. And I'm going to use a previous client example. This is a guy who came to me probably about 2.5 years ago, really smart guy. He was a genetics researcher at one of the top institutions in the States. And he came to me because he had this deep-seated lack of fulfillment, lack of satisfaction. He reached the pinnacle of where he could get to in his career, had nowhere left to go, but he still wasn't happy. Now, this gentleman was kind of the geeky Big Bang Theory type of guy. And in high school, he had a very judgmental, very criticizing parent. He was always picked last in sports. He never dated, never went to prom, picked on. So he developed this complex, this deep-seated feeling of I'm not good enough. And what happens is when we have these emotional voids, these strong negative emotions such as I'm not good enough, we spend the rest of our life trying to compensate for that emotion, trying to fill that emotional void. So for this gentleman, it was through academics because he was such a smart guy. And he got scholarship after scholarship, went to prestigious universities, but every time that we achieve an outer world success to fill that inner void, it's only ever temporary. It's never good enough. So you always need to the next thing and need to move to the next thing and the next thing. But for this gentleman, he had nowhere left to go, but that negative emotion was still there. Right? So the important thing to understand in this story is that we're always chasing outer world circumstances to fill an emotional void. Now, in the context of relationships, what happens is we attract partners who reflect back to us those emotional voids that we're carrying. And in fact, you can categorize those emotions into kind of 5 specific patterns of attraction. I call them the archetypes of attraction. So there's the victim archetype. The victim archetype attracts partners who are very controlling, very dominating, make you feel like you can't do what you want, and that's rooted in the emotion of feeling stuck or powerless. Another archetype is the unworthy. The unworthy archetype attracts partners who are hard to please, always make you feel like you're never good enough, partners who might cheat on you, right? And that's rooted in the emotion of feeling I'm not good enough. That's the emotional void that goes along with that archetype. The next archetype is the unlovable. The unlovable typically attracts partners who will abandon you, who aren't there for you, who are emotionally unavailable. And those typically link back to childhood, where one of the parents weren't there for you, or maybe abandoned you, or were not emotionally available. The next is the rescuer. The rescuer will typically attract partners who need rescuing, maybe partners who are addicts, maybe addicted to alcohol, maybe who drink too much, partners who maybe can't hold down a job or need to be financially supported. And then the last archetype is what I call the comfortably single. And this is the archetype where you've got split energy and you're not attracting partners at all, or don't go beyond 1 or 2 dates. So if you do have a relationship pattern, if you recognize yourself in one of these archetypes, there's 2 things that you need to do. One, obviously identify the pattern. And you do that by looking at all of your relationships, past and present, and ask yourself, how did that relationship make me feel? And with 80 to 90% of the people who do this exercise, it's the same negative emotion that keeps coming up over and over and over again. And if that's the case for you, then you have a pattern, especially if you can trace it back to childhood. That means you've got a dominant negative emotion, and that's responsible for those patterns. Now, once you identify that you have a pattern and identify the emotion, the next step is to obviously clear it, to deal with it, work with somebody such as myself or other people who can help you clear those negative emotions and let it all go. And once you do let it go, then you also let go of that pattern and you're one step closer to that relationship that you really want. So that's how you break the pattern. That's how you identify it. Now, in a week and a half from now, I'm going to be doing a free online live webinar to take you through a process to help you identify exactly what your archetype is. So if you're interested in that webinar, go to my Facebook page, sign up, get in the webinar or get the recording. It's going to be extremely valuable. Now, the other thing I want you to do is drop a comment. If you think you know what archetype you are, if you think you know what negative emotion that you've got going on that's attracting your patterns, feel free to share it. I'd love to know what emotion comes up the most for people. Also, tag your friends. If you think that this video is useful for them, drop a comment and tag them as well. And last but not least, I've got tons of resources. I've got a team of practitioners. If you feel like you need a little bit of extra help, don't be afraid to reach out. Send me a PM, go to nickbro.com, leave me a message. So that's all I got for now. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this was useful for you. And I hope to see you live in the webinar in a week and a half. Bye for now.